Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Blockchain researcher states why XRP price does not matter. Okay guys, let's get into it. So the researcher in question here is Smoke with a Q, so SMQKE, and yeah, he's basically saying that XRP price doesn't matter. I've had a bit of a situation with him before where I've covered like a post that he'd done where it was in regards to the XRP ledger being able to be run offline, which was completely inaccurate. I've got a video covering that, so if you want to check that out, it's in my archive on my channel. And even David Schwartz has actually confirmed that the XRP ledger cannot run offline, so it's not just me saying that, like David Schwartz has confirmed it as well. But yeah, we've got this thing here now where he's touching on why the price doesn't matter. So let's get into it. Why is he saying this and what's it in regards to? So he's basically talking about obviously how the price is right now, and obviously how there's a lot of speculators, holders, etc. getting frustrated with the price. And his argument right now is that, hey, when it comes to institutions saying, you know, using XRP, etc., that the price doesn't matter. Like, you know, the price isn't, it's nothing like that the institutions are going to care for, because what they want to care for is, does the asset itself work? You know, that kind of thing. Is it reliable, etc.? And is it stable for them to use in that regard? And so my answer to this is, yeah, I actually completely agree with this. But the thing about it is, like, the way it's coming across is like what he's saying is like really profound. And to be honest with you, this is really common sense. Like, think about it like this. When you've got the institutions who want to use XRP, they're not using it in a speculative way. They're not using it in a way to say, hey, you know, we want to hold this token and hope it goes up in price so we can make money. No, like, the institutions are using it as a bridge currency, etc., right? They're using it for utility purposes. So, of course, yeah, like, for them, why would they be worrying about the price? And so this is the kind of stuff with me where, like, I think a lot of people who, you know, like, they don't do like thorough research and stuff like that, and they hear things like this and they think that this means like, oh yeah, XRP is going to the moon and stuff like that. But what he's saying really is, it is just common sense. And that's no disrespect to Smoke, because I do ultimately agree with what he's saying here. But all I'm trying to make you guys understand is, just because he's saying this doesn't mean that, you know, means that XRP is this, you know, like above the moon coin or anything like that. And, you know, remember when I say this, like, I'm saying it as a holder. So, you know, I'm not trying to like bash XRP, but I'm just trying to be realistic with you guys. So yeah, like, the price doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, think about it like this. Like, Ripple have 300 partnerships at the moment or something like that who are using XRP and RippleNet and stuff like that. So, you know, ODL is currently being utilized, or Ripple payments, whatever they want to call it now, but it is currently being utilized. And so, this is the thing, like, when people talk about, for example, like the stableness, well, this is where I'm thinking, like, is Smoke trying to refer to the XRP price going to like a stablecoin? Because some people think that XRP is going to go to like $10,000 as like a stablecoin, as like a set price, so that they can do ODL with no issues in terms of like fluctuating prices, which is not going to happen. And, you know, the thing that you can even say in regards to that is like, well, if people are using it for ODL now successfully, that shows that the price doesn't make a difference, right? Because if that was the case, then they wouldn't be able to use ODL right now successfully, you know, right? Like, it wouldn't make sense. And so, yes, I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but when all the institutions get involved and it's going to be a lot more volume, etc., etc. I get it. But at the end of the day, what you've got to understand is this is all happening in like 3 seconds. Like, the transactions are happening in 3 seconds, and they're being bought and sold. So there's supply and demand in effect, right? So it's not going to change anything in the grand scheme of things. And so when you're talking about even like the price fluctuations, okay, let's look at it from this perspective. You've got at the moment how cross-border payments are generally done, which can take like 3 to 5 days, right? So if you're thinking about how much a currency can change within 3 to 5 days, and you compare that to XRP in 3 seconds, which would you actually say is more safer, right? Now, if we're talking 3 to 5 days for XRP, then yeah, like, you know, XRP is a cryptocurrency which is currently very volatile, so there could be a very big difference. And don't get me wrong, there is price swings within XRP's price as well. But if you're talking 3 seconds and then you compare that to a fiat currency, yes, fiat currencies are more stable, but in the stance of like 3 to 5 days, well, anything could happen within those 3 to 5 days. There could be some really extreme news that comes out that really affects the, you know, the currency's value. So, you know, there's a lot of things that can happen within that time frame. So you would still say that XRP is the safer option if you're talking about only a 3 second time frame, right, as compared to 3 to 5 days. And so, you know, in regards to this, like, does the price really matter? No. And as I say, like, institutions are not buying XRP as an investment. They're going to be buying it to utilize it as a bridge currency. They're going to be using it for utility. So why are they going to be thinking about the price? So I do actually agree with Smoke here completely, but like, this isn't anything like profound. Like, this is just kind of like common sense, really. Like, institutions using a crypto asset for its utility is not going to be thinking about the price action of the asset. They're just like, okay, we want to use it as this bridge currency. We want to use it for whatever utility. And that's what they're thinking about. They're not thinking about the price. They're just thinking about the utility that they want to derive from the token. And so, yeah, overall, I do agree with this. Absolutely. But then you've got to come down to, like, when you're coming about like why the price doesn't matter, like, who are you thinking of right here, right? Because the speculative holders, for them, the price does matter, right? Because these are the people who are hoping to make a profit from this. So I guess the main point that he's probably trying to get to here is just that the price of the asset isn't going to scare away investors, which I do actually agree with. Overall, I actually agree with that. It's not going to matter what the price is. Like, XRP could be like a cent. It doesn't matter. If the utility is good and it works, then yeah, obviously they're going to want to still use the asset. It's all about what the technology can do, not the price. It's not like, oh, we're going to use XRP when it gets to $100, because what difference does that make to them? The price doesn't change anything. It's about what the actual asset can do. So the price is really not a big deal to them anyway. So if there is anybody out there who are thinking because of the way the price is, that's going to scare away like institutions from utilizing XRP, no, definitely not. Like, absolutely not. This is not really going to mean anything. It's just going to be that institutions will, all they'll want to know is like, okay, how good is the technology? Does it work? Can it do what it says on the tin? You know, does it back up what its talk is? And if it can do all those things, then they will use it. Like, they're not going to be like, oh, it's too cheap right now. Like, you know, it's not proved itself by having a huge, higher market cap and better price. Like, no, they're not going to care about that. It's all about what it does. That's what institutions will be using it for. So I actually agree with Smoke on this, but as I say, this is like really, you know, it's an obvious thing, to be honest with you. So this doesn't necessarily mean that institutions will definitely use XRP, but I do agree that this isn't a reason where people should be thinking of like the price action as some kind of detriment to it being utilized, because that's going to have no bearing on it whatsoever. The main thing is going to be like the fundamentals. Can it handle the TPS? Can it really deliver in 3 seconds? You know, can it do like the bridge asset that it's meant to be? Like, can it do all these things that it's been told it can do? And as long as it can meet those fundamentals, then yeah, institutions will want to use it. Now, how big of a scale that will be, well, we will see. Like, at the moment, we know that Ripple have like 300 to 400 partnerships. So that could obviously grow over time. I would expect so. But does it mean that every bank is going to use it? Not a guarantee. Not a guarantee at all. But it could definitely grow over time, right? But just remember, like, David Schwartz has said this recently himself, that he doesn't believe banks will be Ripple's success story. That was his own words. So, you know, it doesn't look like they're solely just focusing on cross-border payments anymore. So this is one thing that I'm just trying to make you guys understand. Like, you know, while we do want ODL to be a success, I think, one, it may take a lot longer for it to be the success that people want it to be, and two, it may not even be the big success that people had hoped for, David Schwartz included. So, you know, you have to kind of bear that in mind. Like, you can see that they're doing different things now. You can see that they're doing the AMM. You can see that they're doing the stablecoin. You can see that they're looking into smart contracts. This is them looking into different ways for them to build money, because they're seeing now that just ODL alone just isn't being as successful as they want it to be. So they're looking at other areas to bring value. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, because this is what happens when you put all your eggs in one basket. You have to start pivoting just in case, because if that one thing fails, then that's it, right? Like, you've kind of messed up. So I understand that them looking at other ways to bring value, that just makes sense. So I've got no issue with that at all, but we have to kind of see it for what it is. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, overall, I agree with Smoke on this. The price really doesn't matter in regards to institutional adoption. It's not going to make any difference to them whatsoever. It will all just come down to how good the tech is. And, you know, as far as I can see, generally, ODL has been successful with the companies that do use it, the institutions that do use it. So I would think that they should have more partnerships come in the long term. That's what I would expect. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell. Take care.